Welcome back to the channel today, PrepTexas family. This is his and hers Shtf Loadout. Stay tuned. I've been getting a ton of comments, and I've been talking to a lot of people through the comments about prepping with your spouse. Now, I get a lot of feedback from you guys that's like, my wife is completely against prepping, or she does nothing to help me, or she fights me every step of the way. If I try to spend money on prepping whatsoever, it gets shut down. And then there's the other side of it where a lot of you guys come back and are like, my wife is my biggest prepping partner. She's so great and such a huge asset with our preps, and she does half of the work when it comes to keeping this stuff organized. So today I'm going to throw something together that's going to add your spouse into your prepping. This is his and hers Shtf Loadout. When it comes to prepping with your spouse, there's always got to be some give and take. There always has to be some, hey, I bought this for me, or I bought this for you, or perhaps we bought this together for us. I see this a lot with some guys when they try to get away with like, oh, hey honey, check out your new anniversary present. I bought it for you. It's totally yours, I promise. And then she don't want nothing to do with it. You know, it's not her thing. So I see that kind of stuff a lot, guys. It is what it is. But if you have a spouse that's on board with prepping, more power to you. It's a great asset, and it's great for the morality of trying to get all of this stuff organized and prepared for your safety of your family and the well-being of your family in an SHTF scenario. When it comes to setting up a loadout for your spouse, always keep in mind that they may not be as trained or as prepared minded as yourself. So try to keep things in the back of your head, like maybe she doesn't want to wear a plate carrier and a super tactical battle belt, or maybe she doesn't want to wear some 511 tactical boots and complete multicam with face paint. It's much better to make your spouse comfortable while prepping than it is to push a certain amount of gear or a certain amount of training onto that person. So you kind of got to give them their space and encourage them to prep at their own speed and hope that they can kind of keep up and catch up when the time is right. One of the things that I'm talking about is like the weight of a rifle. This is my bug out rifle, and she's a beaut. You've seen many videos of her. I got her set up in all the right ways. This is a homebrew. It's got Palmetto State upper and lower and rail, and that's about as far as Palmetto State goes. I have a Ballistic Advantage 16-inch barrel, a WMD bolt carrier group, upgraded lower kits package with an enhanced trigger, BCM stock, Vortex Strike Eagle 1-6, Olight Odin, Yankee Hill Machine, Phantom Flash Hider quick mount. So this is my fighting rifle. However, this gun is much too heavy for my wife to be able to carry. Now, she shot this gun a couple times, but her trying to hold it up for a long period of time just is an absolute no-go. So as awesome as this rifle is for myself and how lightweight I think it is and how agile that I can move with it, it's very heavy for her, and therefore it's uncomfortable. She doesn't like to train with it. She doesn't want to carry it, and especially if we have to ruck for a long period of time, there's no way she's going to have something like this over her shoulder. So in comes a lighter platform. I know, guys, that this is not the most optimized setup for an SHTF fighting rifle, bro. There's no optic on that rifle. What the heck? That's only a 10.5-inch barrel. How are you going to get the type of ballistics that you need out of that? Blah, blah, blah. However, this rifle is a fraction of the weight as the rifle I just showed you. I'm sorry, this pistol is a fraction of the weight of the rifle that I just showed you, and much easier for her to hold in place and find her sights for a longer period of time. So I may or may not end up putting a red dot on this for her. As of right now, I'm just going to keep open sights because of her experience with shooting is not nearly as much as mine. She's comfortable with open sights. She feels like she knows how to line them up, and there's nothing to really throw her off. Also, she don't have to worry about battery life or brightness settings or anything like that that she's going to have to complicate herself with. This is a very simple, lightweight pistol, and it's perfect for a spouse who may or may not be as trained or well equipped as yourself. Just a quick plug. This is the PrepTexas 10.5-inch pistol. You can find these for sale at TexasShooterSupply.com. Alright, so let's jump down to the loadout and see what I put together for you guys today. Alright guys, so let's take a look at the his and her Shtf loadout that I put together here. So this is some of the actual equipment that we would use if we bugged out. We would probably add a couple things to it, but for the sake of this video, I think that this is a very sufficient loadout and may give you guys kind of an idea on how you can possibly set your spouse up for SHTF if they're not quite as invested or involved as yourself. So you can see that I put a little bit lighter of a loadout on her side. And if you've watched my previous videos like the Escape the City video or the Urban Loadout video, you can see how these CVV bags right here, like the ones that my wife is using, has a pouch on the front that can be disconnected and used as a fanny pack or a chest rig. So if you guys are wondering why she doesn't have some type of chest rig, it's because it's unnecessary weight for her, and if she needs something like that, she can disconnect it from her bag and use that as a chest rig for extra ammo and stuff like that. So let's take a little closer look at how I've loaded her out and how I've loaded myself out. Alright, so we'll start here with the pistol that I chose for her, and this is actually the TSS PrepTexas edition 10.5-inch pistol. This is a very nice pistol made in Texas by Texans using USA sourced material and parts. I know the quality control is excellent because I work with those guys on a daily basis, and these guns are put together to spec with mil-spec parts and all test fired to make sure everything's well. This is the primary weapon I've chosen for my wife simply because of the weight. It's so much lighter, it's so much more agile, and you know, someone with her skill level as far as shooting goes doesn't really need a 16 or 18-inch barrel. She can definitely hit targets at close range, but for the most part, you know, this is going to be a self-defense type weapon or perhaps a suppressive fire type weapon with her amount of training. So the bag that she likes is this CV Life black multicam tactical backpack. And this is a very nice backpack. It has quite a few attachments that you can take on or take off. I do have a loadout of this bag. If you check my videos, it's called Escape the City bag. So you can see how this is kind of loaded out. And it's very similar to how I would keep it loaded out if it was my wife carrying it in SHTF. So you guys check that out. So for footwear, for her, again, she's not a super tactical person. She doesn't really care about looking super tactical. But I wanted her to have something that had good ankle support, and it was also somewhat waterproof. So we landed on these Columbia hikers. She really seems to like these. They're very comfortable and lightweight, and in an SHTF scenario, they'd be a great option for footwear for your spouse. We find these multicam pants here at the military surplus store that's local here, and these are all in new condition. They've never been worn or used. So we pick up quite a few of these type of BDU clothes and pants, and really they work great. Even if you're not looking at the camouflage, the material and build of the pants are very utilitarian and very rugged. So we like to use these BDU type pants. And for my wife's loadout, it's going to be no different. So my wife's sidearm of choice, again guys, I'm not trying to load her out with what I want her to be loaded out with. I'm trying to load her out with what she's going to be comfortable carrying, instead of trying to pack around a bunch of heavy stuff that I chose for her. So the pistol that she likes is the M&P Shield EZ, and this is really a nice pistol. I don't necessarily agree with the grip safety. It's one thing that bothers me, but like I said, with her training, she's very comfortable with this gun. It's very easy to load and shoot, and so far it's been reliable. I've heard people talk about magazine feeding issues because of the weak springs. We haven't seen that yet, but I do have a couple backup magazines and even some new in a package. In case we do see that issue, we can make sure that we remedy it as quickly as possible. So when it comes to carrying extra magazines, we did talk about this pouch comes off of the bag and can be used like a chest rig. Check out the Escape the City Shtf Loadout video. But this is the simple belt that I've put together for her, and this is just like a simple police type belt with a locking plastic buckle. It has one pistol mag holder, one rifle mag holder, and a dump pouch. So it's not going to be very extensive or super complicated, but it's going to be everything that she might need to be able to carry that heavy weight around her waist and keep it off of her shoulders, and hope that we can continue to go as long as possible. And then again, I just have a Rothco t-shirt that fits her, that's a neutral color, and a gas mask for her size. So this is going to be my wife's SHTF loadout, and I think that it's more than sufficient when you look at what most people will have or not have. And I think that with the tactics that I've learned and trained, I think that this will be a very sufficient loadout for her, and she will definitely be an asset during SHTF. Alright, moving on to my loadout. This is my 16-inch quote-unquote recce rifle build. It started its life as a Palmetto State Armory Freedom rifle. Since then, it has a new barrel made from Ballistic Advantage, a new BCG and bolt made from WMD, a new lower parts kit, a new stock, new optic, Magpul Pro flip-ups, and I run these Lantac mags as well as P mags. And this is my rattle can my rattle can Woodlands cam paint job, and it came out all right. I'm not mad at it. So this is my fighting rifle. It's set up to the way that I like it. It's very comfortable, very accurate, and very reliable. So whatever it is that you guys are using, whatever it is that you have, train with it, set it up how you like it, and run it, brother. There will be no naysaying around here if you're not running a BCM or Daniel Defense. Run what you got. That's the whole reason I created these PrepTexas rifles and pistols. Let's real quick get off a subject. I created these TSS PrepTexas edition rifles and pistols to be an affordable everyman's fighting rifle. There's no sense in anyone at any budget level not having a quality rifle that he can defend his home, defend his state, or defend his country. So if you're interested in having a rifle like this, go to TexasShooterSupply.com and look for the PrepTexas edition Texas Defender rifle. Alright, let's move on. My main bug out bag is this Teton Sports Explorer 4000. And I have a loadout video on this. I think it's called the long-term survival video. I do keep this Magpul bipod with a little Allen key that it takes to connect it in the front of the bag in case I do need it on this rifle to do some type of scout work or recce work. However, it does add a little extra weight and I don't use it very often, so I keep it off of my rifle and in the front of my pack. This has really been such a great pack. It's been so durable and it holds so much stuff, guys. You can put more stuff in here than you can carry just about, and it holds it with style. So check out Teton Sports for sure. Starting at the bottom for me, I threw these Under Armour boots in here. These have been great. They don't last quite as long as I want them to. You can see they start to separate here and start to separate here a little bit, but they still are fairly waterproof and they're still very comfortable. Also, the bottom wears out very quick. This is my second pair of these, so I think that I have enough experience with these boots to be able to say what they are and what they're not. They're very light and very comfortable, like wearing tennis shoes, but they're not a very long-term shoe. You might get 3 or 4 months of hard use out of these, but if you're just wearing them as like a casual daily wearing shoe, they'll probably last a little longer for you. But they go well with this loadout, so I went ahead and threw them in. So for my pistol, I have the Glock 45 with the Holosun 507. In the real case scenario, I might carry my Glock 17. I'm not sure. I guess it just depends what's close at that moment. And again, you can see that I went with these BDU type pants, the same as my wife. They're very rugged and tough, and they have a lot of pockets and a lot of real estate that you can put the things that you might need. So for my belt setup, I went with an inner outer belt setup, and this is the Gray Ghost Gear. See if it'll focus here. This is the Gray Ghost Gear belt. And this is a really tough belt, man. This thing has been super rugged. I got the HSGI pistol and rifle mag holder, and then I also have a dump pouch in the back. I like to keep my belts really simple. I don't like to carry a whole lot of stuff around my waist for a few reasons. One, because of the waist belt for my backpack has to go around there. Also, when you're carrying a backpack or a chest rig or things like this, if you have anything that pokes up above your belt line, sometimes it can be difficult, to say the least. So I like to keep our belts really slick and clean. Really, one mag for pistol, one mag for rifle, and a dump pouch. And then whichever holster we decide that we're going to be using at the time. She likes this paddle holster because it sets up and keeps the pistol in the right position for her. And as long as she's comfortable with it, then I'm fine with her running that. So that's how we set up our belts. Super slick, super lightweight. Nothing really fancy, guys. The chest rig that I have is the Condor chest rig. I'm not sure the exact name. I do have videos on how I have this loaded out. I keep 6 30-round mags and a 40-round mag, an IFAK, a tourniquet, a radio antenna that's extendable, multi-tool, flashlight and lighter, chem sticks and antennas, extra batteries, pistol mag, navigational equipment, and IFAK. And then I also have the Israeli gas mask. So this in its basic form is my his and hers Shtf Loadout. So I think that this is very sufficient. I think that if you and your spouse have a loadout similar to this, you should be prepared for just about anything that comes your way, especially if you have the correct type of training, tactics, and mindset. So please leave down in the comments how you guys set up your spouse's Shtf loadout, if they set up their own, or perhaps you don't even have one for them or haven't thought of this. If there's anything that you think that I could benefit from, please leave it down there as well. If there's something that you would change, perhaps something that I'm missing, and if you would like to see inside of these bags, check out my previous videos, as we have a breakdown of all of the bags here on the channel. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by again today. Please like, subscribe, and share if you like this kind of content. There's always ways that you can help support our channel through Patreon and through the links below. If you would like to have some PrepTexas merch, like this hat, hoodies, t-shirts, or whatever it is you can think of, check the links below for our merch store. We have some awesome PrepTexas merch for you guys. Also, you can help the channel by helping yourself to one of these PrepTexas Texas Defender pistols or rifles that we have for you guys on TexasShooterSupply.com. As always, guys, I love you. Thanks for your support. Stay training, stay prepping. This is PrepTexas signing off.